Oops. Hey everybody coming on in. We are live. We are live and it's Therapy Thursday and we are doing a live episode tonight. So we're just gonna um take a couple more minutes and I'm gonna take a quick break and I'll be back. All right, everybody. Let's get started. Happy Thursday. I hope to not keep you all long. We are live. We are live doing a live episode on this Thursday and don't be alarmed or don't be sad because I definitely will upload on all podcast platforms as well. If you're not able to tune in live right now, that's okay. You can catch the replay. Hey everybody coming in on the Noon Vibe app. We are live YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Um, I think we just missing Instagram. Um, so we definitely will be able to let our followers on Instagram also listen as they tune into this live streaming. It is Therapy Thursday, and you all know that we usually do Therapy Thursdays. If you don't see me here and then you know you're going to get a video, you know you're going to get an upload. But guess what? I'm here tonight. Um, and I hope to not keep you all too long tonight. But anyway, today's episode is definitely gonna be called definitely it's called the uncomfortable zone. That is the title, uncomfortable zone. There was also a video that was released on yesterday. And actually, we had some technical difficulties, so it actually got just released this morning because I think that's when it went out. But it was recorded and released on yesterday. But you all should see that on LinkedIn and my YouTube channel as well. So if you're not following YouTube, go ahead and follow official Karen Oliver as well there, where we have our podcast live episodes, which is now what I'm doing. And there's a video that's always released, but you definitely want to check out the video that was released on. I think it was supposed to be released yesterday, but for the technical difficulties, I think it released on this morning. And the topic of that episode was called The Real Me. This is me. So, anyway, we're going to still be elaborating a little bit about what I discussed and recorded on yesterday. But the uncomfortable zone, you want to know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the uncomfortable zone. I shared on the video released on yesterday. What I shared was how we have to stop making people comfortable. And then at the end of the day, we become uncomfortable because we're not being the real us. But when I say uncomfortable zone, that means I'm talking about us. We have to make sure that we are comfortable with being uncomfortable. I hope that makes sense. We have to make sure that we are being comfortable with being uncomfortable at times, because most times we try to make others feel comfortable just so we can show them that, we hear them out, or that we understand them out, or we want to show them that we can fit in, when that's not the real us. We need to hold each other accountable, and we need to hold other people accountable. If it's something that you don't agree with, if it's something that is not in your character, and if it's something that does not show your integrity, um, and you know that it's something that is not right, and then you need to make them feel uncomfortable, and they should feel uncomfortable knowing that you are not the type of person that would be subject to their decisions, that you're not subject to what they're doing. You can be around someone, it can be somebody you know or a loved one, but you need to make sure that you're not making them comfortable in doing wrong. I'm gonna say that again. Don't make people feel comfortable in their wrongdoing, and that's vice versa. And it also goes with us, because we do that, and we found ourselves doing that, or we found ourselves being in that vein where we're making other people comfortable in their wrongdoing, and that's not right. And I'm pretty sure all of us have been there at some point, or we've been in a certain situation. But people are supposed to love you for you. They are supposed to see your character, see your integrity, see what you stand for, even if they do not, um you know even if even if they know, hey, you know such and such do not agree with what I'm saying, does not agree what I'm doing, and that person or persons, they know what they're doing is not pleasing to you, and they know it's wrong, but they want you to agree with them. And there are some people who just want you to agree with what they're saying, what they're doing. And real friends, real relationship, people who care for you genuinely, they're going to call you out on your truths. They're going to tell you the truth, and they're going to tell you how they really feel. And a lot of us, and I'm just pigging back off of some of the things that I shared yesterday. And that's why, again, this episode title is called Uncomfortable Zone. And I also want to elaborate on that a lot of us fear the unknown, and we fear the fact, and we're afraid of the fact that, well, this person may not talk to me again, or this person d- um, is not going to understand where I'm coming from. Of course, that person is not going to understand where you're coming from, because they are not living in the same vein, and you're both not on the same page. So of course they're not going to understand, because they're not on the same page as you. But a real friend is going to really speak up and be honest and say, hey, you know I don't like what you're doing, or I don't agree with what you're doing. And most times we won't say anything, and we won't speak up, and we will agree with them knowing it's wrong, and that's not right. We should not agree with what's wrong. We should not agree with what's not right. We should not do that. And so we have to be comfortable. We have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because there's going to be a lot of times where you are going to have to stand up. You are going to have to be bold. You are going to have to you're going to have to stand for what's wrong. Um, because if you stand for what's wrong all day, you'll never grow, you'll never get nowhere. Then you diminish your character, and you diminish who you are. And that's what we've been talking about, even in the mentoring groups and in the weekly motivation since Monday of this week. We've been talking about how we do not need to diminish who we are. We do not need to cut down our integrity, our character for anybody. If a person love you for you on the inside and they see the vision and purpose on you, why would you diminish and cut down who you are? If they walk away, they just walk away. If you need to walk away from that job, you do the right thing, be obedient, put in your notice. If you know it's time for you to check out, and when I say check out, you all, I don't mean just walk out and leave. But when you go through the chain of command and have a conversation with your leaders or higher leaders or whatever, and put in your 2 weeks notice, you know when it's time to move on and transition to another area, whether that's transitioning into a corporate or whether that's transitioning to your own business or whatnot. And a lot of us, we still work in our corporate world and we have our businesses, but you know, until God tells you you can step out and leave and step out on your business full time, and then you must stay. But then make sure that you are communicating and being obedient and making sure that you're doing the right things, even when you're being treated unfairly or you feel like something is wrong on the job. It is your job to go to that leader, that manager, and be like, hey, this is not right. Whether your coworkers or anybody like it or not, you have to stand up for what's right, because it's your integrity that you don't have to check your integrity and your character. It's your integrity that matters. It's your character that matters. If you need something to change, and then you can't keep your mouth closed for change. You've got to be bold and you've got to say, hey, something ain't right. Something is not going, I don't agree with this. That's going with what's going on the job. It's in the professional setting, very big these days. Um, and as I, was talking about just a few minutes ago, talking about relationships and lifestyle, we have to understand we can know people for a long time and we can have a connection with people for a long time, but when something is, you know, not in agreement with you, you've got to stand up and be bold in that. You've got to stand up and be bold in that and be like, wait a minute, I'm not in agreement. You all, um, I was supposed to actually to a gospel near my home, well, near my hometown, but I knew that, I had to go to work this weekend because I have to work in the hospital Friday and Saturday. So I'm saying to myself, wow, these were free tickets. But I had to realize, wait a minute, there'll be more concerts. But I gotta be wise because guess what? I still work for a company. So that means if I'm on the schedule, I gotta make sure that I gotta be there. And I gotta get up in the morning and go like I know that I can't go. And I had to, realize, well, wait a minute, Karen, there'll be others. They will be others, other concerts and stuff. And sometimes we just gotta make those uh hard decisions. But guess what? Those decisions are wise and they're right. And that's what I want to get back to, talking about, making sure that we're comfortable with being uncomfortable when other people are uncomfortable with us standing up for what's right and doing what's right, because we can't make people feel comfortable when they are wrong or when they're making a wrong decision or when they're doing something wrong that pertains to you. So we really shared a lot on this week, and we really shared a lot on the video that was released on February the 15th. And that is still freshly new. So you all get a double episode this week. It was definitely needed. And I think it's the human nature of us, and it's more conversations that we really need to talk about. We need to talk about the authentic self. We need to talk about, just us as human beings being real, with ourselves first, and then being real with others, not being afraid to hurt other people's feelings, because we know who we are, and we got to make sure that we at the end of the day, we gotta make sure that we're doing the right thing, that we're taking care of. We gotta make sure that we're looking out for ourselves. Um, and we wouldn't want anyone making us comfortable in our wrongdoing, right? So why would you do it to anybody else? Times we have see if people will agree with us. If you all are not on the same equal path, and then they're not gonna agree with you. If they're not doing the same thing, they're not, be honest and open our mouth and be bold and be like, hey, this is what I stand for. This is what I agree with. And if this is something that you can't get with, and then maybe we have to, separate and step back from one another, because two people who don't agree, they can't walk together, you know, and that's in any type of relationship. And so it's very important for us to just examine ourselves and analyze ourselves more and more each day. And so we're definitely going to be talking about the health side of ourselves. I shared on the podcast, and I'm sharing with you all again that we will be incorporating more of um, health coaching on the podcast, and we're going to be deep diving in more of social work, because I am definitely finishing up my degree, and I'm now pursuing social work. So we're going to be talking a lot about human behavior and all of that stuff, everything that ties into with our, we know that this is the Dream Fearless podcast. So we're going to be talking about, like we've always been. We're going to be, talking to guests, and we're going to be sharing things about ourselves, things that we've stepped into, things that we have experienced, whether that's professional, business, or our personal life, things that we've had to overcome. That is what Dream Fearless podcast is about, because WCD coaching is an extension of Dream Fearless podcast. Like, they both tie in together. So we're definitely going to be mentoring you, coaching you on the podcast. We're going to be talking about how you desire to continue to keep fulfilling those dreams in your life. That's what we do here. And again, on the Dream Fearless podcast, we laugh, we talk, we cry, it gets serious here. So living out your dreams, living out your purpose, and that's why we have to talk about being uncomfortable. And we've got to talk about how we have to stop making other people feel comfortable in their wrongdoing. If it's something, you can be connected to someone for so many years, but why would you hold them in their wrong? That's just like in a professional settings. If you're having a one-on-one meeting or you're doing a survey, why would you lie on the survey? Why would you go into your one-on-one meeting with your manager and tell your manager that, yeah, all of my coworkers, we all work together very good, when you know good and well that y'all don't work together that well. It may be one or two of you that's doing all the work, and the rest of them may be doing half of the work. You I'm just throwing that out for the example. And yes, that has happened a lot on jobs, and it definitely has happened with me. I'm not ashamed to say it, but I had to speak up. And it doesn't matter whether I got along good with that person or not. But I know that I had that, hey, they are not it's not a team effort. I had to realize, wait a minute, is this a team effort or is this not a team effort? If I'm seeing a pattern, not a team effort, and then I must speak up and say something, especially when it's time to go to that meeting with those managers. I have to be truthful about the work environment that I work in. And like I said before, you all earlier this week, if you don't like something, change it. And that causes for you to speak up and open your mouth. That's just like even with our businesses. If there's something that's just not connecting or working out, we've got to pivot to make uh, different ways and make different decisions. Well, maybe, I need to make a different decision than what I did before. To maybe I need sure that I show up consistently for my clients and customers to make this work. Those are the things that we have to put into practice. Those are the things that we have to put in things to to play. We have to make sure that we're doing that. And so I just want to share that all with you on tonight. Again, for those of you who are coming in, we are live. We are live on the Dream Fearless podcast. And so um, this is a live episode tonight that will definitely be up, and you definitely can catch the replay on all your podcast platforms and YouTube as well. So I thank you all for tuning in. And before I go, what we're going to do here on the live podcast tonight is I want to make sure um, that if anyone has any questions or would like to comment on the topic tonight, feel free to share your comment or come up on the feed and request to go live where people can hear you answer your um, so we can answer your questions. Or if you have a statement or something that you would like to share or a story you would like to share, I am going to leave the floor open for you all to do that. So, everybody that is listening live, if you would like to comment or send a message, feel free to do so. Um, I will give you all a couple of minutes to do that. But I really hope you all enjoyed the topic, the episode. I hope it really touched home for you. And I want you to feel free to just share this with your colleagues, your peers, your family, co-workers, because we pretty much touched on, everything tonight. Thank you all for tuning in and the questions and comments before I wrap up and let you all go. But your therapy word for today is get ready um to be comfortable with the uncomfortable and stop making people comfortable in their wrongdoing. Do not dimmy yourself down. Do not cut yourself down. Do not cut your integrity and character off because someone doesn't understand you and they don't understand your purpose and they don't understand that you're standing up for what's right. So you shouldn't be the one that's feeling bad. They should feel uncomfortable. Not you shouldn't be the one that's uncomfortable. But also don't make them comfortable. Stop making them uncomfortable in their wrongdoing. And so I hope this makes sense to you all on tonight. And if you happen to have some questions or comments later on, I can still see those. So feel free to comment. Um, Thank you all for joining in. I know some of you are just now coming on live, ready to end. So feel free to watch the replay, and you all have a great, and I'll see you in the next episode.